Now, the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show continues. Here's your host, Brian Beatty.
Welcome back, folks, as the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show continues here on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com. I'm, of course, your host, Brian Beatty, and thanks again for joining me this morning. First show of 2024. Excited to be back. Had a great few days vacation with the family and just took some time to get a little R&R. And I'm excited about the beginning of this year. You know, we've already got some great news with regard to interest rates. I think that the year for real estate in 2024 is going to be a little more normal than 2023. 2023 was a heck of a year. We had a lot going on. And of course, it stemmed from interest rates basically doubling, right? So affordability in our market and in plenty of areas of the country just tanked, right? It was tough to make sense out of buying a house. A lot of people, first of all, just couldn't afford it. And even if they could, they just didn't want to pay it. So what has happened is a lot of people have created incentives that encourage people to go ahead and buy now by doing things like buying down your interest rate. There's something out there called a 2-1 rate buy down, which essentially states that, you know, hey, you still have to qualify at normal interest rates, right? If it's 6.5%, like it kind of is right now, you're going to still have to qualify for that financing at 6.5%. But for your first year, the interest rate's going to be 4.5%, right? 2% less. And then next year, it's going to be 5.5%. And then at the third year, it's going to kind of go back to what the original interest rate was, which was 6.5%. And of course, the hope is that between the time that you actually close on your home and then by the time that that third year rolls around, you know, the 25th month of your payments, interest rates have come down enough for you to refinance, right? So that the 6.5% is something you'd never have to pay anyways. Now, of course, you're kind of hoping that the Federal Reserve delivers on the commentary that it gave toward the end of last year, which is that they anticipate there being 4 separate interest rate reductions this year. I'd love for interest rates to get back into like the 5% range. I think it's very possible. It's a political year. We'll see what happens. But 6.5%, you know, if you can qualify for that, that's not that bad of an interest rate. Really, in the grand scheme of things, that's not that bad of an interest rate. That's a pretty normal interest rate. We just got used to 3%, right? I just equate it to, you know, if you're, especially for those of you that live here locally, you kind of understand what I'm saying when I say this. When you're driving on 26 and you kind of like pass Somerville and you're headed west, the speed of traffic is like 90 miles an hour, right? So that's the speed that you're used to driving. But then if a cop, you know, pulls onto 26 and you have to slow down to 70, you know, you're going to feel like you're going at a snail's pace. So in other words, it's just you get used to certain things over time. And we got used to having extremely low interest rates as though that were the norm in our market when really it's not, and not a sustainable interest rate. So, you know, I'm hopeful that interest rates are going to be back down into the maybe high 5s, mid 5s this year, maybe even a bit lower. That would be fantastic. I think that's really going to surge the market. The question is that quote unquote healthy? Right? Is that what they are hoping to accomplish? Have we weathered the storm? Have we gotten back on our feet financially enough as a nation to support interest rates that low? Because we know what will happen, right? What will happen is once those interest rates dip into the 5s, if they get into the high 4s, what's going to happen is it's just going to start all over again. We're going to have this accelerated appreciation curve. Properties are going to start becoming worth more and more money very quickly. And it's going to throw affordability out of whack again. And it's going to get to the point where Charleston is going to be it's already an expensive market. It's going to become a very expensive market. Now, I do think we're going to have, you know, some appreciation that will occur this year. I think it's going to be minimal, maybe a few percentage points. I'm not anticipating double-digit appreciation this year in our market. I think we're just going to have a nice little return to normalcy. So, you know, that being said, every home is different. Every neighborhood is different. Every price point is different. We have such a variety of real estate here in Charleston that you really need to be working with somebody that understands your home, the buyer for your home, and what that process is going to look like. And that has, frankly, a proven track record of selling properties like yours, right? So if that's something I can help you with, again, I've been selling real estate for 19 years, done about 1,500 transactions here locally. And that's everything from, you know, I think my lowest is an $11,000 trailer back in the late 2000s to, $5.5 million homes and big development deals and hundreds of acres of land and everything in between. So if that's something I can help you with, 843-800-0065 is my number. 843-800-0065. Or my website is listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com, where a lot of great information on there. I encourage you to poke around. And of course, if you want to, put a face to the name, or the voice rather, we take all of these, episodes that we do here at WTMA, and we video them and we put them on YouTube and TikTok and Facebook and Instagram. So hundreds, over 800 videos on YouTube. So if you want to get to know me a little bit better, that would be a good place to do that. But I want to switch gears. I want to talk a little bit about this 2024 home decor report that just came out, that talks about, really a few things. It talks about what are going to be the popular trends this year, right? What colors are people choosing? What do they want? What do they not want? What are the renovation trends that will happen this year? Where does it make sense basically to spend your money? And last year, Americans spent on average about $5,600 on home renovations and about $1,600 on decor. Now, those numbers don't seem very large. I would say that, again, that's a national average. I think that we here locally are probably higher than that. But it goes on to say that, millennials spend on average 23% more on home decor than baby boomers, despite everything that's been happening with rising interest rates and inflation and the dollar just not being stretched as far as it used to. And I'm just going to give you a few highlights. It says that the top colors are going to be traditionally more neutral tones, right? These are going to be like muted tones, like easy blues and greens. One thing that this report makes very clear is that pink is the worst color according to the survey for interior, exterior, front door, all of it. It ranks at the bottom. Maybe you've got a home with a pink door and you love it, and I'm not trying to offend, but that's just what the report says. It's also saying that they're going to be, like, from a decor perspective, bright colors are in, right? Just not pink. These are light greens. You can go online and you can look at color of the year for Sherwin-Williams or Behr or whatever. I actually just repainted our bathroom Sherwin-Williams color of the year, and it's beautiful. We love it. But the point in sharing this with you, and by the way, I have this report. It's a 19-page report. It's full of all sorts of statistics and color options and design aesthetics that will ultimately help you sell your home for top dollar. Maybe you just want to use it for personal enjoyment, but it's still an investment, right? Decor, furniture, it's an investment. Obviously, what you do to your home inside or outside of it is an investment. And I'm all about helping you, the consumer, stretch those dollars as far as they can possibly go and to get the most back from it, maybe even make a profit, depending upon what it is you choose to do. And that's going to kind of lead me to this next segment, which is that we have a lot of people that reach out to us that they either need to repair or they're considering renovating their home before they sell it. And, we're going to spend the next segment talking about that, but I want to offer a really important piece of advice first. And not every agent, quite frankly, can do this because they don't have the transactional experience or they haven't renovated homes or they haven't flipped homes. I have done, probably well over $100 million in investment-based real estate, flipping, redesigning, and the like. And I've spent my own money doing this, so I can put my money where my mouth is, right? I've written the checks. I've dealt with the contractors. I've made decisions. I've made money. Literally never once lost money on a real estate investment. And so for the folks that are considering renovating or even repairing their home before they put it on the market, the tendency that people have is to call us once the work is done and to almost treat us coming through their home as a listing agent that's going to market the home for them as like their first showing, right? They want to impress us. They don't want us to walk into a house that's not ready to be presented to the world. And I get that mentality. I really do. The challenge is you are then taking on those projects on your own, which means you're looking for your own contractors. You're dealing with your own contractors. You're hopeful that the contractor that you're working with is giving you a good price. Maybe you get a bid or two or three and you're comparing those bids, but maybe those three people you called are all giving you high bids. You know, one of the benefits in selling a ton of real estate and investing in a ton of real estate and flipping and, you know, we have somebody working on a property probably 3-4 days a week. That is how often we are in touch with contractors and in this space of kind of like this housing sector. And I'm just here to tell you that we have fantastic relationships with contractors. We got a guy basically for anything that you need done. These are vetted people. These are people that we've referred in the past. And quite frankly, most people don't get on this list unless I hire them for a project first. So I'll be the guinea pig. I have been the guinea pig for years and years and years. And we've developed this really solid list of vendors so that for the people that are thinking about renovating their home or they just need some simple repairs done, I can pass along my contact list, right? I've got people that are reliable, that show up on time, that get the job done on time, and that are cost effective. Now, depending upon what you need, they might not always be the least expensive. And in the contracting world, in many instances, you get what you pay for. My advice before we take a quick break is to not go at it alone. Rely on someone like me that has an amazing amount of knowledge in this space so that I can save you time, money, and a lot of frustration. Because working with contractors that don't do the job the way you want it to be done, or take too long, or submit a bunch of change orders that create a much more expensive project than you budgeted for, become real problems and create real financial hardship. So if that's something I can help you with, if you're thinking about doing this, first of all, get your hands on this report. Text the word design to 843-800-0065. Text the word design to 843-800-0065, and I'll send you this free 19-page report. But if you're thinking about doing something to your home, have someone like me walk through your home before you start calling people and before you start writing checks, because in so many instances, when people call me over to their house and the work's already done, and I ask them how much they spent to do the things they needed to do to have a home that was ready to sell, I mean, on average, it's a few $1,000s that I could have saved them. So save yourself some money, save yourself some time, save yourself some frustration, and call me so that we can help you with that. The number is 843-800-0065. That's my direct line, 843-800-0065. Or go to listingsincharleston.com. Contact us that way as well. All right, stick around, folks, for more of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show right here on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA.
Stay tuned for more of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show. Have a real estate question? Ask Brian Beatty. Contact Brian Beatty online at listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. Or call him at 843-888-0065. That's 843-888-0065.